So last night I got the cultivator hooked up to my 560. I got pumpkins out here. Got pretty close to that one. Gonna try to get this better lined up. It was getting dark, so got this lined up. You can see the row of pumpkins right there. Gonna cultivate these pumpkins. Then I got some sweet corn that's only about 6 inches tall. Few weeds starting to come in it. Cultivate that. There's not many weeds coming in the pumpkins yet, but there's some little ones like that guy. So if you get them when they're real little, a lot easier to kill them. And then obviously some of these, get them killed off now, and then I'll be able to hit them probably one more time before the pumpkins actually start to vine out. Because once they vine out, obviously I'm not going to be able to do much to help them. They're already getting decently big. So, Farmall 560, John Deere, whatever cultivator. It's a 6-row cultivator. I planted these pumpkins with a 8-row narrow planter, but I skipped rows because obviously pumpkins need space to vine out. So these can vine out all the way over to the corn. Got a few weeds coming in on the edge of the cornfield where it didn't really get sprayed. But once you get out in there, there's no weeds. You can see this is sweet corn. Field corn's taller. But pumpkins are looking good. I got these 2 rows that go all the way across the field. I think that's 330 yards. And then I have more pumpkins over in that corner next to the other sweet corn that I'll be cultivating. This stuff's a little bit too tall to be cultivating now, filling out. But it's above the weeds, so hopefully it'll start shading it out. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see these 6 rows are cultivated. Those 2 are not. Like I said, we have an 8-row planter and I only have a 6-row cultivator. I would really like to find a 8-row front mount cultivator, or maybe even a 4-row front mount for my 560. I didn't get you guys much video because it takes a lot of focus not to kill the corn. You see how tight it is? I just turned around and got off a little bit there. But you see how tight it is. This was where I first started, so I was a little off and I killed a little bit right in here, but I still think the amount of weeds we're killing off is doing better than the damage that I caused. But this whole field, or this whole sweet corn patch here, over to where the corn gets tall, is cultivated now. There was a decent amount of weeds coming in. I'll bring you back. Okay, so I'm over here in the pumpkins now, since all that sweet corn was gone. Cultivating around an edge, doing a corner. That makes it a little more complicated. Doing decent at it though. But I'm gonna go back to focusing on this and not killing my crop. I will bring you guys back when I get a chance. So I was able to get these pumpkins cultivated. I got them at the right time, killed all the weeds. I was able to get this corn. This is sweet corn cultivated. As you can see, I knocked some over right there, but the rest of it went pretty good. Got all the weeds out of the rows. Obviously, there's still some in the actual row of corn. This grass, foxtail, whatever it is. The actual field corn, looking pretty good. This is a sandier spot. This is actually some of the shorter stuff, and it's almost head height. It just keeps getting taller as you go. There's much less weeds in here. You can see there is some grass, but that little bit of grass is going to get shaded completely out here. And I think the better ground where the corn's already taller, there is less weeds. Yep, it's getting taller. There's a few shallow or low spots just because sand hills and stuff. It's kind of funny. Ground is taller, corn is shorter than the corn on lower ground. But corn is looking good. Obviously no tassels yet. Still too early for that. But got good roots on them. I pulled one out earlier. They definitely have a good root mass on them. But I'm gonna go get on my three-wheeler and ride over to where we cultivated on the other side of the cornfield. Oh yeah, this is new to the channel. I got two Honda 200 ES's Big Reds. They both have electric start. The other one has reverse. This one does not. But I used all my asparagus money this year. Got a couple three-wheelers for running around on the farm. They'll work good for chasing cattle. Over here, this is all sweet corn. I got it cultivated. You can probably see the difference in green right here on these 4 rows. That I turned the planter pretty much all the way up and tried a higher population because I had a little bit more seed than what I needed. And I planted the regular population on both sides of it just to see what the difference in yield is. More pumpkins over here. You can see I cultivated them. These are a little bit weedier than the others. I'm gonna give them a few days for the weeds that I turned up to dry out. And then I'll probably be back out here in 4 or 5 days. Hit them again. I can get one last time in before they vine out, I would imagine. But they're looking alright. This is wetter ground over here, so they should have plenty of moisture over here. Got the dam boards in out here, holding back a lot of water, as you can hopefully see. See the water there, and then obviously those boards are wet, but it's all the way down to there. Got a few leaks in it, but nothing too bad. It's doing a pretty good job. We've been getting decent rain. If it starts to dry up, I'll probably come out and try to jam those up a little bit better, but letting a little bit of water by right now isn't going to hurt us. This is June 30th, for anybody wondering. So we're not even to July yet. You've seen how good the corn's looking. Looks like we're going to raise a pretty decent crop out here this year. We're holding back a bunch of water. That way if it does dry up, we got all the ditches flooded up, brought the water table up a little bit. That'll help the corn because they got their roots down good and deep by now. So there's a little bit of a crop update. I don't have any soybeans this year. That's the neighbors. That's a shared dam there. Helps us both out. See that field corn's just looking good all the way across. Good and tall. This side's probably a little bit taller. It's better ground, blacker soil, less sand. You can see my hayfield over there. We got it mowed. It's all picked up and out of the field. Pretty decent year so far. Hopefully the corn prices go up a little. Last I looked, they were like $3.68. there's not much money to be made there because it was expensive to put a crop in this year. This is one of the cow crossings, wildlife crossings down into the ditch. Typically, if we took all the dam boards out like we will for harvest, we'll leave some in to keep some water in here for the wood ducks. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. There's a wood duck box right over there. But we got wood duck boxes all up this ditch, so we like our wildlife. But the cows typically cross here, so there's a little bit of sand built up. And typically you can see the bottom, and there's only about 6 inches of water flowing over that. Right now I would guess that there is 2.5 foot, so we got over 2 foot all the way up the ditch here. Obviously downhill slope holding back more down there. But bringing the water level up 2 foot definitely helps the crops. Got some rose bushes blooming down in the ditch. That's strange. Never seen them before. There's one on each side. Here's some of the rhubarb I planted. Goes down there. Must have killed off the one I planted in there, but then here's some decent ones. Here's a pretty good, nice one. That'll be a good producer. Some more. Goes down a little ways. If you guys remember the video of me working the ground to plant the rhubarb, there's the rhubarb. The asparagus is next to it and all of those weeds. It's hard to kill the weeds deep enough that you're not going to hit the asparagus roots the first year, so you kind of got to just let the weeds grow up with the asparagus. Let the asparagus put some energy back into the roots, go down deeper, and then you'll be able to work it above the asparagus and get the weeds killed off. Another wood duck box, and you can see we're holding back a decent amount of water here. That's a, I believe a 36-inch culvert. It might be a little bit less, but typically that culvert barely has any water flowing through it. So we're holding back good water all the way up to here. This is the very front of the front ditch at the farm, as far up as the ditches go. So holding back good water. Hayfield's starting to come back. Just mowed it a week and a half ago, I think. So that's pretty much a crop update for me. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment down there. Let me know what you think. I believe tomorrow we're taking my 2 3-wheelers, my buddy's 4-wheeler, other buddy's dirt bike, and we're going to the Badlands for a day. So maybe there'll be some video of that, maybe not. Might just be busy having fun, might not record anything, but we're gonna have a day off the farm. Don't forget, have a good one.